When God starts to change your identity, because I want to speak in a language that you understand, basically he's changing you, okay? He's changing you completely from a person that you once knew, but this person was literally like of the world. This person was built on pain and trauma. This person was built on what people put on you, right? These generational curses. This person is coming from an identity that you created. He's changing you completely from that, and he's going to birth you into who he actually created you to be. Hey boos, welcome back to my channel. First, let me just welcome myself back to y'all. I'm Nene. How y'all doing? If you know, you know. Today's video is going to be a chit chat, get ready with me. One of my favorites. It's time to really catch up. I think y'all need a word. I need a word. So it's time to just come have some words together. So come, relax, get me on your TV, get your drink, girl. Let's sit and talk. So pre-warning, I'm feeling pink today. So we're gonna do like a pink look. Let's get it going. I'm gonna do my brows while talking to y'all. I pop in and out at times, a lot of times, and I'm done apologizing for it. Y'all know that's just how I show up here on YouTube. Like, I just show up when I want to show up. I have my people that show up when I show up, and I'm so thankful for that. Once we get through the brows, y'all, we can have like a real conversation. When I'm done with this video, if you feel at any point in this video that I'm speaking to you, please make a comment and tell me, where did I speak to you? Tell me what you relate to. Like, at any point, like while you're watching, just stop and leave that comment. The blood that gives me strength from day to day, it will never lose. Hey, its power. Hey, never lose its power. Hey, my girl. So I created a 7-day guided journal called Unmasking Becoming, and it's for the woman who's ready to take off the mask and step into the version of herself God always intended. If you don't know, I like to get deep, so each question encourages you to go within with an affirmation and an unmasking prayer. If you feel that God is pulling you to become, click the link below to download. Boom! Brows is done, baby, and they're fire. These 3-minute brows, fire. So y'all, I really want to talk, right? Because I'm in a season of being refined. And to explain that more clearly, I'm in a season where God is shaping me into becoming who I really am, meaning the woman that he created in his image. What does that look like? You ever heard when people say you're being pruned, you're being shaped, God is shaving off things from you? That's exactly what refinement is. When God is pruning you, he's shaping you, he's pressing you, he's shaving you to become who he has called you to be, who he has created you to be. If I'm just being honest, my Christian girlies, when you're walking with Christ, there's some seasons where you have to be completely obedient. And then there's this word called surrender. And when you're in the refining season, that's when your surrender actually shows up the most. I want to say it's the season where you're tested the most. In my season of refinement, I'm being tested the most, but not necessarily by the enemy, by me. That word surrender, y'all, my God. There's been so many things that I feel like I've surrendered myself to, and I've allowed God to just kind of have his way on. When I look at the bigger picture, the number one thing that I really haven't surrendered is my life. And when I say my life, it's like the direction of my life, who I am in this life. I know life is such a really broad word, right? So I hope that you understand how I'm trying to put it. But one of the things that God has shown me is that I am a girl who likes to be in control. And I never really realized how much control I felt or I had over my life. And in this season, God has called me to really understand all the areas where I've controlled and where he's like, okay, I've let you have your way. Now at this point, it's my turn. When you release control of your life, it is the most scariest thing ever. Whew. Man, I ain't even meant to come in to cry. It's the scariest thing ever. It's the scariest thing ever, y'all, because it's like you feel lost ultimately. And when I say release control, it's like every decision you make going forward, you no longer could run it past yourself. You no longer could say, all right, this is what I'm doing. When you start to walk and strengthen your walk in Christ in your relationship with God, nothing, no decision is like of your own anymore. Now don't get me wrong, I've always been a woman of God. I've always kept God first, right? I've always talked to God. But the woman of God, the keeping God first, my definitions of that has completely changed. A woman of God is literally in your essence. It's how you show up, it's how you think, it's how you speak, it's how you behave, it's how you love, it's how you operate. Keeping God first, the definition of that has changed. That looks like whatever I do, God is first in all of that. Any decision I have to make, any place I gotta show up, whatever I do, like God has to be at the center of that. I think the number one word that I'm trying to describe that will describe all of this is that God has to lead me in everything now. With so long I thought that God was leading me, but God was not leading me because I was going after my own will, my own pursuits, my own desires. And I don't think nobody really talk about this. Like, I was one of the ones, and I still say this, you create the life you want to live, and that gives us so much power in ourselves and so much power in our own being. But you have to be careful with that, because what I've learned as a woman of God is that is not necessarily true. There are some aspects of your life that you do create, right? That you do have some control over, especially when it comes down to the choices and the consequence factor. But when we say you create the life you want to live, I think in a worldly context, it makes us believe that if I want to be this boss business owner, I could do it. If I want to live in this mansion, I could do it. Like, you can do all of these things, but what I've learned is creating the life you want to live is a part of your will. And in this world, in this life, we do have free will, right? God is so good. He gives us free will. But what I've learned is, like, there's a cost to being outside of the will of God for you. And although it seems like when you're walking in your will, your life is happy, what I've learned is that there's a sense of dissatisfaction. No, dissatisfaction. There's a sense of dissatisfaction. There's a sense of dissatisfaction that's associated with that when you're walking in your own will, your own way. And I don't know if too many people gonna be honest and talk about that. In my experience, what I've learned is walking in my own will, creating the life that I want to live, I was still dissatisfied. One of the ways to, I guess, pay attention to when you are in like a refining period of your life, it's like you're going to crave for more. And listen, this is just one of the ways. There's going to be so many other people that's going to give you other ways. I can only speak from my experience. One of the ways where I knew that God was in like this, I was in this refining process, is when I was craving for more. Like, I'm like, Lord, there's more. There has to be more, right? And I was literally like chasing after God, like in pursuit of God, essentially. But in my desire of wanting more, I was like not satisfied with some things. And I remember kind of going to God like, why am I not satisfied? Am I being just ungrateful? Why when I do a thing and I think it's a thing that you told me to do, I'm not satisfied with it? And really God had to sit me down and help me to see that some of the things that you're doing, you think that I'm telling you to do these things, but you're actually pursuing your own desire, but then throw me on top of it because it has happened. You're like, oh, God told me, or God did this thing for me, and then after it's done, you like, but this is not quenching. And what I've learned, or what I'm learning, is that when God does a thing for you, when God does a thing for you, and when it's a God thing, it's going to be satisfying. So in this space of releasing control, y'all, I had to really let go of the reality of like, Natisha, maybe all of what you've done so far, you've been able to do it. And God has been there along the way, you know, to see these things through. But God is just telling you that now, baby girl, because you have a knowing of me and you want to be in relationship with me, I need you to understand who I am and the power that I possess. And that means that I no longer can allow you to go out here thinking that you control everything when you don't. And I'm gonna tell you something, it has me in the space of like, when you surrender, it makes you feel like, okay, I don't know what the heck is going on. And I think that's the true definition of being a part of, or being in alignment with God's will. The not knowing, the I don't know what's happening, but I'm just allowing God to use me. It's scary. I was the girl who always had a plan. I always knew what was next. I always structured things. I always knew what I was going after. I just can always call it. But see, that's a solid form of control. And a lot of times when we exert control, it's because we want to control the outcome. We want to be prepared for what's to come. If we can control it, we know what's coming. We see what's coming. And babe, that's a trauma response. Babe, that's attached to anxiety. Like, come on, let's just keep it going. And what I've learned is that when we are controlling and or we like to control things, it is a light on our lack of faith. Because what did they say? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Well, if I can control the situation, I already see the outcome. You following me? But faith is the evidence of things not seen. So that means I can't control this thing, and I just have faith that what I don't see is going to happen. Woo! And a lot of times, because we don't like to sit in the unknown of stuff, we start to control it. So in this season, God has shown me, like, I'm going to strip you from your control. And this has to be, understand something, this has to be willful. You have to say, okay, Lord, I'm going to allow you to do these things. Because what I've learned is, at the end of the day, God gonna have the final say. But he gives you the opportunity of choice. Let's pause right quick. I have this pigment from the crayon case, and it is in the color, it's called My Fuchsia. It's bright. I'm gonna zoom y'all in a little bit on the eyes and let me kind of like refocus. Hold on. Oh wow. And it is a powdery pigment, but you know what, I probably needed like, whoa, I probably needed like some type of glitter adhesive or something. It's not glitter, but you need something a little bit tacky for this to press to. I have this Glitz and Glam glitter like a base. Let me see if I put this on top of here, on top of my cut crease. Would this, wow, allow the powder to stick better? So if it does, one eye is going to be better than the other, and it is what it is. Y'all know how I get when it comes to this daggone makeup thing. Like, girl, I'm ready to be done. I want to be fine, but in 5 minutes. Oh, let's get back to the conversation. That's another thing when it comes to control too that God is showing me. What God is showing me too is that my impatience is another reason why I like to control things. And can anybody agree to this? Are you impatient as well? I'm extremely impatient. This is a good example. When it comes to my makeup, I'm like, I don't have time for that. What did I just say? I want to be beautiful in 5 minutes. But babe, like what? I mean, okay, let's talk about it. Is that really realistic? Can you really be beautiful in 5 minutes? And maybe you are beautiful in 5 minutes, but that rush process is nothing compared to if you took your time, what that beauty would have looked like. Woo! Eat me up, why don't you? Oh, wow. Look, y'all. When I put that glitter, oh, wow. Whoa. When I put that glitter primer on there, you see how this went on easier and I have less fallout because it's sticky. Oh yeah, so if you, oh wow, this is beautiful. If you want to work with these are her loose pigments from the crayon case. I don't know if she still sell them, but if you want to work with these, you need like a tacky like glitter adhesive, glitter primer, because it'll kind of keep it'll press, it's a press powder, so it'll help press this onto the lid. Wow, that's crazy, y'all. Look at that. Whoa. I want to keep this pink, so I'm going to try to see if I can pinken this outer corner up just a little bit, like darken it. So okay, God has me in a season of like, you need to release control over everything, especially when it comes to your life. You need to change. I need you to really fully surrender to me and allow me. I am the author and the creator of your life, and I need you to allow me to do that, right? I've gotten you this far. I've let you get this far. I've let you get this far. I've let you believe that you've done all of the things, but now I'm going to unveil that, and I'm going to say you really didn't have much power over this. And yes, you went after the things you wanted, and I made a way and I gave you provision. I was already there, always there. I'm not gonna leave my daughter, right? Like, I was always doing that. Now you're at another level where I want more from you, and the first step is I need you to get in relationship with me. And when you start to get in relationship with me, you're going to understand my power. And when you understand my power, you're then going to understand my purpose. And I think a lot of times we miss that with God. We miss his power and we miss his purpose. And I think this just comes from just our families, where we have this idea of what we feel God's purpose is. And he's not to harm us, and he's to give us the things that we want, and he's supposed to always bless us. And yes, part of that is true, but we're missing a huge part of the purpose of God. I think the most simplest purpose of him is to operate through you. It's to work through you. And in order for us to see the purpose of him and understand his power, we have to allow him to do that. Here's the reason why you have people to say, like, Christianity, like you it's a choice, right, to follow this religion. It's a choice to get baptized. You're saying that I accept, the Holy Spirit, right? And the Holy Spirit is living in you. Now it has to work through you, because this will be the manifestation of what God is, who God is. It will show you why Jesus came to the earth. All right, I hope that you're following me, right? But we've misunderstood that for quite some time. In my walk with Christ, y'all, I am learning that I have completely had God here. His power, who he is, I've had him here. My understanding of him, my knowing of God has been here. Here. Right? Where now I'm like, whoa, you are actually real. And like, I can hear you. Did you just show me that? Did you just work this out like that? Like, whoa, like, girl, listen, this is definitely deep and spiritual. I used to always say I ain't trying to get deep. No, that's who I am, and it is that deep. This is definitely deep and spiritual, right? But I hope this is feeding somebody's spirit to help you first understand God. So do you understand what I'm saying, right? When it comes to just the knowing and the purpose of God, right? He has to be able to work through you. So let's get back to what I'm talking about. So in this season of refinement or refining, God is really reshaping my identity. When God starts to change your identity, because I want to speak in a language that you understand, basically he's changing you, okay? He's changing you completely from a person that you once knew, but this person was literally like of the world. This person was built on pain and trauma. This person was built on what people put on you, right? These generational curses. This person is coming from an identity that you created. He's changing you completely from that, and he's going to birth you into who he actually created you to be. So during this season of refinement, one of the first things that God is working with me on is my heart. And my God, when I tell you, when God has shown me my heart, and when God starts to work on your heart, y'all, he wants to take a deeper dive at like, he wants to take a deeper dive of your emotions. Okay, so all of the things that you've suppressed, especially when it comes to areas of like forgiveness, when it comes to areas of anger and bitterness, these things are stored in the heart. He wants to take a deeper dive of that, and he wants to take you back and say, let's revisit these things. Because first, as I do this great work in you, I need to change your heart. And some of the ways that you taught yourself to deal with painful or hurtful experiences, it's wrong. When it comes to working on your heart, what I'm learning is that it's not like a lesson that takes forever. If you resist, it is. But when you finally get the message, it doesn't take that long. One of the things that God is really only trying to teach you when it comes to your heart is that the way that we feel and we operate and we show up in the world and with other people and through our emotions, we've learned to not really take things and put things at God's feet. We just kind of feel like we're going to think our way through this, process our way through this, and it's going to be over with. Okay, I'm going to speak to somebody. Maybe you're like this. I'm always the person who, I'm just going to be the bigger person. I have been able to withstand so much, so I'll get through this. When somebody has hurt me, or when somebody has done me wrong, when I feel like I've been backstabbed, or when I feel that I'm being rejected or not included in some stuff, well, I've always been through something like this, so I'll just get through it. I'm strong, right? I just need to suck it up. I can't do well on it. I got to keep it going. Or I just need to forgive them in time, or just forgive them for now, or understand that they're not where you are emotionally, and you just need to let it go. You don't want no friction. You don't want no confrontations. You just need to let it go. You don't want to be the oddball or the black sheep or the one that always got a problem. You don't want no labels, so you need to let it go, right? So you find a way to just kind of maneuver through those instances. And when God showed me my heart, this is the one thing he showed me. You never got over these things. You never got over them. You just pushed them down and kept going. I think one of the ways that God is showing me, no, I didn't ask you to be the bigger person. I didn't ask you to turn the other cheek. That's not what healing looks like. When somebody wrongs you or does something to you, or when something happens, a situation or event that has brought some type of friction or conflict, I need you to bring it to me, but I need you to pour your heart out to me. And what I've learned is that I've been quite restrictive in how much I let God know, because I don't want him to think that I'm being ungrateful. I don't want him to think that I'm complaining. I don't want him to think that I'm just ugly with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never really talked to God and showed him the full extent of my hurt from somebody. I've just kind of always thought, this is what I mean with keeping God, having a lower level of understanding of him. I just always thought God wanted me to be the bigger person and move on. God never said that. God never said that. Where did you get that from? Yes, the word says to love people, and yes, the word says to forgive people, but God doesn't say do it immediately. And God doesn't expect perfection from you so that your forgiveness comes overnight. But he does want you to put into an honest effort, right? But God says, cast your worries and cares unto me, right? So when I look at that, and what God is showing me is that you never really brought the true hurt to me, but then you never really trusted that I can help handle this situation. And when God showed me that, I'm gonna be honest, I literally had said, well, what can you do that I haven't done already? Too. That's real. Like, and sometimes we have to be real with God. He already knows, but sometimes we have to just say it. And it wasn't me testing him. It was the reason why I never brought these things to him. Come on now. Do you hear me? See, your level of thinking will show you so much on how we're restricting God or limiting God, or not even showing up authentically with God. My question was, I'm not bringing these things to you because what more can you do that I haven't already done? I have already tried to be the bigger person. I've already tried to be accountable. I've already tried to love them from a distance. I've already tried to do all of the good things. Now, what even greater thing can you do? And God is like, just that. A greater thing. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Father. Sometimes, y'all, this just be too much for me. But God is saying just that, an even greater thing. And I feel like, y'all, we doubt God, we limit God so much because in the world we're fueled with so much that's going against the belief of God, right? That's questioning even, why we even servicing a God. Why do we even think that there's a God? What's up with this story named Jesus? All of this, right? We got so much that's being fed to us that we can't sort out what we believe of God, but then even get to know him beyond what's in our face. Get to know him beyond what's been told. You know what I'm saying? How to shut off the noise of the world and say, I'm choosing to believe this about you. I'm choosing to believe this. I'm choosing. And then I got to stick with that choice. Girl. So when God was showing me my heart, he was just showing these things you never really brought to me. You talked about it, but you never really brought it to me. You never even allowed me to give you insight of why these things happen. You never even allowed me to do that. And what happens is, and what I've learned is, the way that I've went about forgiving people, the way I've went about handling my bitterness and my anger, I've just kind of internalized it as if like, the problem is me. The problem is me. But unfortunately, when we create those type of internal dialogues, it show up in our behavior and our identity. It's limiting. It's limiting. This is such a rich conversation, and I'm not trying to rush it, but I don't want to like overload you too much. But it's just my prayer that I'm ministering to somebody's spirit, honestly. So as God is showing me my heart, another one of the things that he's showing me too is, because of your heart, you've created this character, like who you feel that you are, right? Like you're leading with your pain, you're leading with your trauma, you're leading with this identity that you've created, but babe, that's not who you are. And it made me question God a little bit, like, you're telling me that's not who I am, but why did you create my life to be just this? And the simple answer is purpose. You remember I told you that one of God's purpose is to live through us, right? And that's to be able to show the world and others that he's real. He wants to be able to live through us. So when you look at just like the things that has happened to you in your life, all of your traumas, all of your bad experiences, right? Without God, these things shape your identity. They shape how you think. They shape how you view yourself. Like, these things just become you. So you foster a girl who's now guarded, a girl who doesn't know how to trust. You even foster a girl who's hurtful, who's spiteful, a girl who like out on vengeance. Like, I'm just naming these. You foster a girl who, you know, doesn't really value herself, or, you know, just feels like she has to do things just for her own benefit, or, you know, to protect herself. Like, all of these archetypes, you know, this is all I'm saying. You just create this person, this identity based on the things that happen to you. But God is saying, that's not what I want. And when there's purpose in you, I take you through these things because at some point I want to use you and those things to help save somebody else. So I don't need you to confront, I don't need you to create an identity. And we do that. God know we gonna do that though, right? He know it. That's why he calls us. He comes and he snatches us and he takes us through this process. He's not condemning you for that, but then he's showing not his mighty power and the work that he's about to do through you, the change. I'm not on like a self-healing journey. I'm just not healing myself. You can't do that. Like, this is a journey where God is literally creating me and healing me because I am giving him the authority to do so. And a lot of times, y'all, like when we're running from God, I feel like we can run, but when God wants to use you, baby, it's but so far you can go. When God wants to use you, it's but so far. And I'm gonna tell you, I just want to lend this to somebody who's listening. God has purpose for you. I don't care if you feel like you are damaged goods. I don't care if you feel like you never really went through nothing. I don't care if you don't even know what your purpose is, what your gift is, what your talent is, what you're good at, how you can impact people. I don't care if you don't know that. What I do want you to know is that God wants to use you. He has purpose in you. He has purpose for you. He wants to use you. And a lot of times, in order to be used by God, is that we just have to seek him and have a willful surrender. Like, okay, God, I want to seek you. I want to get to know you. I want to be in relationship with you. And I say get to know you like this because I don't mean it in a sarcastic way, but I'm helping to define the word seek, to get to know, to chase after. I want to be in relationship with you. I tell people, you got to go to church. You got to listen to the word. You got to get in his word. And when I say this, a lot of people be like, you don't got to go to church to have a relationship with God. Okay. But I stand 10 toes on the fact that you do. Because what's the Bible? What's the verse? When two or three are gathered together, when two or three are gathered together, right? I'm in the midst. In the church house, right? The church is God's bride. God will show up in the church house. His presence will be felt. Why do you think sometimes when you go to church for the first time, you are boohoo sobbing? You finally was able to release. It's because you're actually in the presence of God. Like, can we just talk about it? So I don't want people to, and if you've never experienced that, I just challenge you to not be so resistant. A lot of this too, your resistance is because you're shaking on your understanding of God. And I just kind of want to encourage you there. It's always going to start there. You're going to have to pick. You guys have known that at one point I was into, tarot, right? Into all of the things, the angel numbers and the tarot card. I was into all of those things, right? I had an understanding of God, but I was shaky on Jesus. So instead of adopting the story of Jesus, I just went to the existence of there's a God, right? And you have free will to do whatever you want to do. But I'm just saying that when you want to go through this walk, when you want to go to this refining that I'm talking about, this comes with the story of Jesus. That's all I'm saying. It'll look like this when you accept Jesus. And I know a lot of people have their own disbeliefs on that. Trust me, I understand. That was me. But there has to be a convincing. Like, literally. Like, I'm just saying there has to be a convincing. Like, you're just going to have to choose to convince yourself. Because at the end of the day, there's no true knowing. But the Bible tells me I have to convince myself to believe that that's true. A convincing is a willful choice. Like, you have to willfully decide to say, this is what I'm choosing to believe in. I don't care what the world say. I don't care what book of this out here say this. Like, I don't care. I'm just choosing to believe in this. And this is what's going to be my refuge for the rest of my days of my life. It has to be a choice, babe. I'm not one of those Christians that's going to push it. I've always told y'all this. I'm never going to push Christianity on you. I'm not going to do it. You have free will. You can decide whatever you want to decide. I can only just give you insight of what it looks like in my life as a believer, and maybe through my insight it can just relate to you, and if it's meant, it will minister to your spirit. And I just encourage you to receive the word. Don't fight it. So let's get to this whole identity thing. Where I am right now is learning to release control, exploring my heart. God has me in the space of letting go the old Natisha. And when I say the old Natisha, the old her, the old version of her that I've created, you know, who I've learned to live with, who I've learned to love, who I feel that I know, like, he like, babe, you gotta let her go. And I'm going to tell you something. This is the most resistant I've ever been in my life. Because, one, I knew nothing of this refining process. And yes, I gave you my yes, but why are you telling me to let go of a girl that I've grown to love, a girl that keeps me safe? I'm familiar with her. Why are you telling me to let her go? And God is saying, because I have a better version of her. And although that sounds good, can I just be honest? I don't know her. And who is she? I'm too unfamiliar with how she thinks and how she like to move, and who is she? There's just a certain level of grief. If I'm being honest, y'all, like, I don't show up the same anymore. It's like my personality, the things I used to enjoy, what I used to like, it's like my palette has been wiped clear. And I'm like, where is she? And why you pulling her away? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like my whole life I've built to get to this point where I finally love her. I finally accept her. And now you like, she gotta go, boo. And it is so unfamiliar. How you gonna cry now when you come on? It's like you coming to change when I'm finally getting comfortable in this thing. And I wish I had the answer on like why this happens. And I don't know if it always happens this way. I wish I had the answer on like why when I finally get to a space of like, okay, I like her, right? I'm loving her now. I see all of what it had to take to get here. I'm comfortable with her. Now, okay, I'm on my walk with Christ and I want more from God. Now you like, all right, well, it's just part of the process. That's literally an answer I just got. It's just part of the process. Literally. It's just, I can't give you the answer on why. All I just got is, it's part of the process. So here I am in this process of letting go Natisha. And when I mean letting go Natisha, it's like I still have fears. Oh my God, I'm noticing that I have insecurities. Now that I'm releasing control, I got insecurities showing up. And I'm like, I ain't never been this insecure person. Like, what? But it's like, because you've always saw what was coming next. You always controlled what was coming next, which was probably one of the ways where we just kind of minimized your insecurity, covered it up, right? So here I am now in a season where like, I ain't got no control. You got all of these parts of me. I'm like, who is this? And like, what is going on? And like, I can't be fearful. Like, what? Like, because I got comfortable in the fearful part. Like, if I'm fearful of something, I don't move on it. But I call it as, oh, I'm just trying to strategize. I'm trying to hear from God. I'm trying not to move too fast. When you heard me and I told you to do a thing and this is no longer fear, now you have to have the faith and the obedience to do something. And I'm like, but I'm scared and insecure. Whoa. Yeah. Well, I'm not creating you to be a scared and insecure girl, but as we uncover and peel off this layer of Natisha that you created, your insecurities are going to show. And that's what I want. That's what I want. I need all of that, because I'm going to teach you how to not operate in that. Because in my good book, I say you are fearfully and wonderfully made. So we're going to eliminate even insecurities in this process. It sounds beautiful of the woman that God is trying to call me to. But if I'm being honest, in your process of refinement, you're going to reach the stage where you don't want to let the old you go. And this is the part where that word surrender really shows up. And you really get to see how willful you have to be in letting this part of you go. I'm always the girl that's like, let me do the hard work so I can come and tell you guys about it. So I'm at this space where like, y'all, I'm battling with letting this girl go, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do it, but I have to be honest to myself in this experience. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I just want to encourage, and I'm gonna tell you, there's somebody who's probably been in the spot that I'm in. Please encourage me. My God, please encourage me. I just want to encourage that this will happen, but I want you to know that you got to do it. Because you have to trust the promises of God. And you have to understand what's your portion and what's not your portion. And the old me, although I love her, although that I will forever honor her, right? Because, oh, this contour is heavy. Although I will forever honor her, I do have to understand that she is an old version of me that was built off of pain. And God is trying to create a new version, but the version that was already meant to be there. But her story would no longer be of pain. Her story would no longer be of trauma. And even when painful experiences show up in her life, and even traumatic experiences, instead of her looking within, she'll look to God. Instead of her trying to figure these things out, she'll go to God. Instead of her believing that, why did this have to happen to me, she'll look to God and say, I see what you're doing and how you gonna get me through this. I mean, things are going to change. So I think you have to understand your portion. So I'm telling you guys this, and I'm ministering to myself too, because like I said, I'm going to release her. I've already started to. Let me not say I haven't started. I've already started to release the girl. You know what I'm saying? But there is a certain level of grief that comes to the release. I was at a birthday party, and it was a social event, and I was quieter than normal. And it wasn't because nothing was wrong with me. I just was quieter than normal. I'm like, Natisha, this is not you. But as you walk with Christ, your discernment starts to change, and you start to want to like protect. Just I don't know, just kind of protect your anointing. There's a certain level of awareness that God starts to give you. So when you're in social settings, you are not going to be too loud because you want to hear God, right? You don't want to be too distracted. You kind of want to pay attention, but you also want to represent yourself in a way, I don't know, you want to be authentic to you. So and because I'm in this season of refining, my authentic self in my last season, I'm turning up, girl. I'm shaking it. I'm doing all of the things. I'm getting lit. I'm loud. I'm cracking jokes. Where in this season of refinement, that's not really who she is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna laugh, but I'm gonna observe. I may sip, but I ain't really gotta sip. But I'm still enjoying myself. But it was uncomfortable to see this in light. Like, who is this? Like, are you nervous? I'm not nervous. Are you being fake? I ain't being fake. I just don't have a desire. Girl! God gets the glory at the end of the day. And what I've learned is the more that I'm consistent in showing up with God and showing him that you have my yes and I want this relationship with you, God continues to show me how real he is, how much he listens to me, and he continues to make ways for me. He shows me though that you have to be patient, you have to wait on me, and you have to trust that when I do it, it's gonna be a good thing. So I'm just in this space, y'all, where I'm trying to let go of the old me. I think a pink highlighter will like really set this look off. I have like a pink eyeshadow and I wonder if I can use it as a highlighter because I'm doing all things pink, y'all, and it is like fire. Like, so far this looks so pretty. Let's see if I could. Oh yeah, that's a cute little pink little razzle to the cheek. That's not bad. Okay, what y'all thinking? Everything looking good, right? Yeah, so far. In October, it'll be 1 year me being in business as an owner. And I had knew in October, I was like, all right, first of the year come, I'm going in with my business. Like, I'm hitting the ground running. And I had plans of going to, having a business coach and really like walking this thing out, right? And I remember it had to have been like maybe March around my birthday. I'm about to set up my calls and training with my business coach. And my business coach is like, I want to put you in this 90-day program. And it's called the 90-day sprint. And you are going to come up with the next thing that God wants you to drive out for your business, right? And I'm like, dang, in 90 days, this is fire. I'm trying to figure out what eyelash I want to do. So while I talk to y'all, I'm going to figure out my eyelashes. So I'm like, damn, 90 days? Like, okay, that's cool. Like, I don't really like that. Let's go with the first lash, which I think is really pretty. So God was so I have this, she like, we're gonna roll out the next thing that God wants you to do, okay? And I'm like, cool. But when I started taking her class, I noticed that some of the things that she wanted me to do, I had already did those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already went through these steps. I already know what this stuff is, but it's a time frame and when I need to get this stuff done, and it's 90 days. So in the process of you having me do stuff that I already know, I still have to answer some questions and figure out what the hell I'm going to roll out in the next 90 days. That's literally just 3 months. And I remember God coming to me and he was like, I don't want you to work on your business. I want to grow you spiritually. And I was like, what? And he said this to me before I even committed to the 90-day program. But I'm like, what? Like, no. What do you mean I work on my business? God is going to be cool. I'm going to be able to do both of them. You trying to grow me spiritually and I'm trying to do my business. I got it. Like, don't worry, Lord. And one of the things you're going to learn in this refinement process is when God tells you a thing, you listen to that thing. Thank God I know now, but at the time, so here I am trying to work on my business, but also grow me spiritually. And I did not know that as God was growing me spiritually, this was going to be an emotional process. I did not know that I was going to not surrender. All of the things that I'm telling you about. Sometimes that's why you got to listen to God, because I told you I'm grieving this old girl. I did not know this was going to come with the process. Meanwhile, I'm trying to start a process of launching a program or service in 90 days. That is like at the speed of light. When it comes to a business, I remember God telling me, like, don't do that. I remember God saying, like, you gotta let it go and you gotta trust. And since then, y'all, like, I've let it go. I'm ready to get from behind the desk in my house. I want to make more impact in the field, right? Like, I want to be more out there, and I believe that God is equipping me for that, doing this spiritual work. But I come to just kind of tell you this, I come to give you this video for those who want more from God. I want you to learn to work on your identity. One of the things that has helped me, you know, foster my relationship with God, but also just kind of see what God is doing, is journaling. And what I like to do is guided journaling prompts or whatever, just like questions to get me to go deeper, to become more aware, and then to go within to really think about these things. So I had created like a guided journal prompt to just help me start my relationship with God as far as going deeper in Him. So it's called Unmasking and Becoming, and I actually had did this guided journal prompt during Holy Week. So the goal was to really just kind of like unmask who I am and go deeper in how I can become, but to help me listen to what I believe God is telling me right now by just simply going within. And it was literally for 1 week, 7 days, and it was so powerful for anyone who wants to go on that journey. If you feel like it's time to become, if you want to draw closer to God, and you just want to start at the very basic level of growing close to God, which is just looking at yourself, some of the things that God may be calling to your attention about you that needs fixing or changing, or just some things to understand about yourself at the very basic level. It's a 7-day guided journal prompt. Every day you just do a prompt, and it has a scripture for you. It changed my life. So it's in the description box. I give it to you for free. Have your time with it. I know that it will help someone because it helped me. If you are into writing, you're going to love this. It's going to change your life. I promise you it will. And this is really for the self-aware woman who's seeking more. Like, just the self-aware. You have to have time. You have to create time. But if you want a greater relationship with God, you have to really create that time to give to Him. So try the journal. While we wait on the lashes to dry, let's get to the lips right quick. We're going to finish this thing out. So I went to Lip Lab. They have one in DC. They have one in New York City. And it's a place where you can go to make your own custom shade lipstick. I mean, you make the custom shade, you make the finish. If you want it to be glossy, satin, matte, you put your own perfume in there that you want. Like, they have these oils, these scents that you could put. You have your own cases, right, that you want. So the first one I created was called Fly Girl, and she is like a dusty rose pink. I've worn her before. She looks like that. The most recent one that I created is called That Girl. Comes in this one, and I created a night moth dupe. I wanted to be a night moth lip liner. So instead of it being, a lipstick. So instead of a night moth lip liner, I created in a lipstick. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go with the two creations. So this is, again, That Girl, and as you see, is a lipstick. She is such a dupe. Oh my God. Night Moth. When I first went to have them created, it was too red. It wasn't it. I feel like even this could be a little darker, right? It smells so good. I had the smell sugar cookie in it, and it smells so good. And what I'm trying to do is just kind of build the color, because I feel like this is in a matte finish. Oh, that's beautiful. So then I'm going to go in with my girl, Fly Girl. Now, here's the thing about Lip Lab. These lipsticks that you create your own custom colors, you can go and reorder them on the site, right? Because they saved your custom lipstick under your profile. So, yeah, baby. So here's Fly Girl. Hold on. Y'all see Fly Girl? Fly Girl is really a Fly Girl. Like, oh, she is. She's fire. And she is in a matte finish as well, and she has a passion fruit smell to her that smells so good. We got That Girl, and we got Fly Girl. My two creations. I love them. They are so pretty. This is cute, right? Real flirty. My bun is probably smushed because I had my little bonnet on, but let's take the pin curls out of my bang. It's cute. cute, boo. Who do I think that I am? It's cute. Okay, y'all, this is the final look. I told y'all I wanted to do something all pink, and I love it. We did the pink blush, the pink highlight. We did the pink eyes, the pink lips. Like, I just was feeling the pink. I really love it. I hope that this video was like so helpful for you. This is just where I am, and I pray that it helps any other Christian women who wants to get closer to God. Like, I really hope that this helps you on your walk. I hope that I spoke to you. If you are a non-believer, I hope that in some way I spoke to you and I helped you in this video. I want you to understand that a lot of us, we're in a season to release control, and yes, it is scary. I'm being honest with you, but I'm holding on to God's promises. You have a portion that is big. You know, victory is definitely your portion. Increase, come on Jacqueline Carr, is definitely your portion. This process of just reshaping your identity, the goal is just for you to become, you know, to eliminate all of the other beliefs that you had of yourself, to eliminate the behaviors that's keeping you in a cycle of dissatisfaction, but to trust God that this new identity, it's always been there, the woman that He created you to be. This is the place, this is the skin He wants you to step into, right? And it's filled with so much more. There is more, there is more, there's more. So I pray that this word was helpful for you. It was definitely helpful and needed for me. I love when I'm able to come and just process and get things off of my mind. And prayfully I can come again and talk to you guys. Check the description box if you want a guided journal to unmask and become. I promise you it will change your life. Just 7 days, 7 questions. Until then, leave in the comments, you know, what your thoughts or your takeaways was. I can't wait to talk to you. You can always find me on Instagram. That's at Nene Tanae. And until then, I'll see y'all next time. Bye.